We begin today's hour with excellent news. The University of Phoenix is experiencing a record number of students unenrolling from their educational institution, and their stock price has plummeted considerably because of negative press around their program. So according to CNN, enrollment at America's largest for-profit university was about 460,000 students 5 years ago. Now it's 213,000. Now that number is still extremely high considering the amount of students any other conventional university has. But they're experiencing such a dip that investors are now questioning whether or not it makes sense to invest in this company. Revenues and enrollment both sank roughly 14% in its latest quarter compared to a year ago. And the stock tanked over 20% on Wednesday. Jerome's.
Yeah, well, those are big numbers, man. When you lose 14% in the latest quarter, that's not over a long period of time. So you start to worry, even if it's year over year. And when you've lost more than half of your school, it's cause for concern, right? That's a giant hit on their business model.
I love this. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, part of the reason is some of the actions that the Obama administration has taken, which, to be fair, I don't think we've given him enough credit for, right? And part of it is Anna Kasparian. Okay, now look, I'm somewhat serious. Anna's on the warpath against these for-profit colleges for good reason, because it's a bit of a scam, right? Huge default rates. They're just trying to get the federal money in. They give the kids a poor education. Sometimes it works out. There's people here at the Young Turks who went to for-profit colleges, and they're some of our best workers. So everybody who went to for-profit colleges aren't bad guys. It's not the students' fault.
No, it's not the students' fault.
And they didn't all get a bad education, but unfortunately a large percentage of them did.
Yes.
And they're left to fend for themselves and don't get real good, meaningful jobs. And so part of the reason they're taking these hits is because of the bad publicity of people like Anna and others pointing out what they're doing wrong, which is what we're supposed to be doing.
So some people are confused as to what a for-profit college is, because there are lots of colleges that seem to be making profit, right? Conventional colleges. But those colleges will take their money and they will invest it into the school, right? So they'll create new programs, they'll build new buildings, you get the picture. But with a for-profit college, they have investors. So it's run like a business, and their number one priority is to make a profit. And so how do they make a profit? What they do is they have these deceptive recruiting methods where they bring in students and they tell them, hey, we got a sous chef program and you're likely to be gainfully employed once you graduate. And so they will use these ridiculous statistics like 85% of our students became chefs after they graduated this program, or they were gainfully employed after they graduated this program. Oftentimes, the gainful employment is someone who's working at McDonald's.
He's a chef, isn't he? He's cooking up those fries.
So they, of course, use misleading statistics in order to convince students to enroll. Another thing that they do is they rely heavily on government aid. So what they do is they push the students to take out federal loans, and then that federal money goes to these schools, and oftentimes the students don't end up graduating, or if they do graduate, they're not gainfully employed, so they're unable to pay back their student loan debt. In fact, let me give you this amazing statistic. For-profit colleges only enroll roughly 12% of the country's students, but accounted for about half of student loan defaults in 2013. And another thing, about 90% of the revenue that these for-profit colleges make is in the form of federal aid.
See, that's the amazing part here. So for those of you who still think the Republican Party on the national level is legit, think this through. Obama says, hey, look, they're living off the high off the hog here, off of big government. They're taking federal aid. The college gets the money right away. They put it in their pocket. But then sometimes the students can't repay that loan. It's terrible for the taxpayer. It doesn't help the student because he dropped out. He didn't get the education he was looking for. The only people who benefited are these guys that are the for-profit colleges. And they don't care about the students because they don't feel like they have a responsibility to them. They have a responsibility to their shareholders. Now, look, that's a legal thing. They have a fiduciary responsibility to make every dime they can. Of course, they say that they care about the students, but that is, at best, a very distant second priority. The first priority is give me the federal money. Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. And then the kids, they'll do whatever they do, right? So Obama goes to change that. And who steps in to help the for-profit colleges? Republicans. And not just, of course, there was Democrats too, right? But it was largely Republicans who said, how dare you? We want them to keep taking federal money and misallocating it. And then when the students can't pay it off, we're in a bigger debt. We have a bigger deficit. And the Republicans are like, yes! Why? Because they contribute to the Republicans.
Yeah.
And to the corporatist Democrats. So they take that money and round we go.
Look, I want to give Obama credit because one thing that he did is he proposed that community colleges be free. And if that happens, well, then all of these students that are considering trade schools and for-profit colleges are much more likely to go to a junior college or a community college because it's free and it's actually a better education and you're not going to take out loans for it. So I give him credit in that regard. But years ago, back in 2012, Obama proposed regulating the for-profit college industry with something known as gainful employment. So basically, at least 50% of the students had to be gainfully employed. If they weren't, then these for-profit colleges would get federal funds taken away from them. Well, the for-profit colleges lobbied very, very hard, okay? And as a result, they passed some sort of watered-down version of what Obama originally wanted to do. And I don't give him credit for that. He should have been a strong leader in that regard. But I am happy that all the negative publicity about these for-profit colleges has led to people unenrolling, going to a different college, going a different route, because it's a better way of doing it.
But I will say that this is a very rare instance where President Obama might have been playing three-dimensional chess. Now, look, the change that he got against the for-profit colleges was just literally 5%, okay? And I used to kid around before that he got his pocket change, 5% change. And in this case, it was literally, the number was 5% change, right? So he wasn't playing three-dimensional chess in that case. He lost, and he bowed his head largely to the lobbyists, to the Republicans, to the corporatist Democrats, etc. But that community college trick, it hasn't happened yet. But his proposal to make community college free, I didn't know why he was going in that direction. And that is three-dimensional chess. Because if you make community college free or even threaten to make it free, it affects the stock prices of the for-profit colleges and undermines them. So he says, okay, you blocked me when I was trying to give you meaningful reform. Well, I'll go around and do this instead, and that'll undermine you anyway. And he's not undermining it because he hates capitalism or the businesses. He's trying to protect the students and give them a real education.
Yeah, and he's also trying to protect the taxpayers who have their money funneled to these for-profit colleges.
Right. So on this one, you got to give President Obama credit. Well played.
Thanks, Obama.
No, really.
Yeah.
Thanks, Obama.